Is Seaborgium the one that's named after the guy who invented the periodic table?
I don't know. It's a good
Glenn
question.
T. Seaborg.
Seaborg.
I know it's one of the synthetic ones. There's so many that are just.
It sounds like a monster, like Seaborg.
I'm the Seaborg.
Beware the Seaborg.
I'm the Seaborg. My atomic number is 106. Who created
so scary.
the periodic table? Oh no, that's Mendeleev, and there is a Mendeleevium, right?
So I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that Seaborg is a sea monster.
Seaborg was a scientist who was also a sea monster, and his atomic number was 106.
He's like friends with the Kraken.
The Kraken's atomic number is like really high. They can't fit him on the they can't fit him on the table of the periodic table of elements. His atomic number is like 906. Which is weird, yeah. Still 06. Yeah, both of them. That's why they're friends.
Amazing. I'm almost tempted to start the music there, but we can keep bantering if you'd like.
No, let's do it.
Let's do what? Start the music?
The show. Yeah, let's do the show. Do you want to bring us in or me?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Because in fairness, I don't remember who did it last time. Do you want to do it at the same time?
Yeah, let's do it at the same time. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Save Your Game. I'm your host, Matt Alcan.
I think that went well.
I'm sorry about your ears, everybody. That had to be awful.
I'm leaving it in. I'm not editing that.
We go away for 2 weeks, and we come back, and that's the first thing we do to people.
Did you guys miss us? We were gone. We didn't
Yeah.
even make an announcement. We're just like, you know what? This is going to be way too busy, and we have been very, very busy.
You had a lot of traveling to do.
We both did, yeah.
I went to the Adventure Game Fan Fair in Tacoma, Washington.
Woo!
By the way, I want to say hey to Kat and Samir and Chris and Garrett and Bill, all people who were nice enough to come up and tell me that they enjoyed the show while I was at the.
Did they say anything about me?
No, not one of them.
Oh.
No, to a person, almost all of them were like, "Oh, it's a shame that Roses couldn't come."
Well, thank you for approaching, Matt.
Yes, thank you for approaching. No, it's really nice to meet these people, to meet all you and talk to you, and yeah, it was. We'll talk about the fanfare a little bit later. But
yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't there, but I was in fact in England, also doing some game related stuff. Because I wanted to see Nostalgia Nerd's bar. He has an arcade bar, and I wanted to see that. So I went, and honestly, it's super cool. It is such a cool little venue. Do you want to hear the games that I played at Barcadia?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay. The first game I played upon Stuart Ashen's recommendation, which now I realize he was trolling, was Die Hard, the arcade game, which is not a Die Hard game at all. Apparently, it's just called Die Hard.
Okay.
But it was like a different game completely, like Dynamo Cops or something like that. So I started playing this game, and I'm like, what is this?
Okay.
This is not anything. So I played Die Hard. I played this really bad racing game. It's called like F7. I don't remember. It was bad. It was the worst racing game I've ever played.
Not F10. I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
We're looking this up.
I know so little about racing games. Like,
oh no, I'm never gonna find it because there's so many racing games.
They have never ever. I've never liked a racing game. Well, I like Mario Kart, obviously, but only.
I love racing games.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're so fun. Get some pole position, but that wasn't this. This was an
Okay.
incredibly bad racing game. It was 2-player. I played with Elliot, who is Loki the Raven's handler. We played. I
Mm.
won, but not really. I just beat him, but that means I win essentially. And what else did I play? We played House of the Dead, classic.
Classic.
I actually recommended to Nostalgia Nerd that he get Typing of the Dead. And I think that I don't know how you would set that up at all. You set up like
do
multiple
not know
computers.
Typing of the Dead. Is it just House of the Dead, but you have to type things in real quick?
Yep, it's a
That's
typing game.
so funny. That rules. Okay.
So I played I played House of the Dead. I played another Track and Field, which is an amazing like Olympic game, very on topic right now.
Like the one for Nintendo that came with the track and field pad?
Yes. I think
oh my god. I had that
buttons really hard, like fast and hard, and he'll like jump or he'll like run.
Okay, so I had this, but we had a little pad that you put on the floor and you would run.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
And the long jump was my favorite because what you'd do is you'd run and you'd have to run really, really fast. And then you'd jump off the mat. Like you put your legs on either side of the mat, but it had to be a possible amount of time. So you'd like step off the mat. So it was like you were jumping really far. And then you'd have to step back on the mat, like quick enough that it wasn't, because if you stayed off for too long, you would just die because it knew what you did.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great game. Well, anyway, it was an arcade game where you like literally mash buttons. It's pretty fun. It was actually really fun. Okay. And then the last game I played that I actually had not played before. So they, on top of having arcade cabinets set up, they also have like little compact, like little Genesis emulators. They're not emulators. They're like the Genesis, the mini console with all the games on it. And somebody had been chipping away at ToeJam and Earl, the second game, which is more of a side scroller, and I hadn't played it, so I started chipping away at it. I'm like, this is way too. I don't know what I'm doing. This is ridiculous. But I love ToeJam and Earl for real. I like the first one. I think it's insane. I don't know what genre it is still.
Me neither. We should do an episode about ToeJam and Earl because I couldn't as a kid figure out really how to play it. I would wander around and look at all the weird shit. Yeah. And then I would be like, I'm making zero progress.
I think it is an adventure game. I think we can maybe consider it some sort of adventure.
You definitely go on an adventure. And I don't think you fight shit in ToeJam and Earl.
No, you don't fight. You collect stuff.
You can die.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna play ToeJam.
We're gonna have to think on. We'll have to noodle on this. Yeah, we'll noodle on it, you guys.
Yeah, we'll be noodling. If you guys are wondering where we're at in between episodes, we're off noodling.
Oh, and I should mention one more thing. Stuart Ashens kicked my ass at Mortal Kombat 2.
Whoa,
it's not common. I'm a pretty good Mortal Kombat player, but arcade cabinets, they're a little bit different. I'm better at the console versions.
So you didn't play Tapper?
He does not have Tapper.
Oh!
I know. Listen, I know. However, last year when I was in London, we went to me and Nostalgia Nerd and Quang, who's another who's a game dev and a friend of ours. We went to NQ64, which is a really cool kind of like Detroit Blade Runner inspired arcade game, and they had Tapper there, and I slayed. I don't know if Nostalgia Nerd remembers how good I was because he had a drink, so I don't. He could probably deny this. There's no other witnesses. I don't know where Quang had gone, but man, I am a very good Tapper player. If you ever get me at a convention where there's arcade games, I will be on that Tapper machine.
So when I was in Tacoma, there was an arcade bar right down the street, and we were so determined that we were going to get to this arcade bar, and we never did. It was just we were just too busy.
Oh, that sucks. That would have been fun.
My favorite arcade game is a game called Baby Pac-Man. Have you ever played it?
Yes.
You've played it, the one that's hybrid between the arcade game Pac-Man and a pinball machine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so adorable, honestly.
It is so good. It is so much fun. And, you know, like, you get bonuses from the one that you carry over into the other. It's so cool. And I had never seen it. There's a pinball arcade near me that has it. Now, I'm looking at pictures of Baby Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that this is I'm not sure. Is there another hybrid Pac-Man pinball machine? Because the one I'm thinking of has pinball up front, I thought, and Pac-Man on the bottom.
I don't know. There might be. You know how those old arcades go. Like, sometimes you can get they make different machines for the same thing.
We'll have to go.
Maybe?
I'll have to go back to this place sometime soon, and I'll report back on whether or not I'm just misremembering, or there is a second Pac-Man hybrid machine. Yeah.
Have you played Pac-Man for the Genesis? It's an adventure game. Listen, it's called Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures, and I rented it out when I was really young.
I used to watch that TV show, Pac-Man: The New Adventures.
Yeah,
it was like a cartoon.
Maybe that's what it was based on, because like it's this insanely difficult Pac-Man adventure game where you were playing Pac-Man, and I kind of forgot what the premise is, to be quite frank with you, but you go around like solving little puzzles. There's a little bit of an action element to it. You get a slingshot that you can like hit stuff on the screen with, and if you hit Pac-Man, he gets real fucking grumpy. And if he gets too grumpy, my friend, you cannot control him. He is off the rails. So I have a very old Let's Play of this game on my channel with Peanut Butter Gamer from like 11 years ago, so long ago now, and it's pretty funny still, because the game is insane. Like, what?
I really want to play. You know, that's what we should do the episode about, is these
Pac-Man?
insane like these border cases, like the Pac-Man, like this Pac-Man adventure game, and ToeJam and Earl. So the cartoon was just called Pac-Man, but yeah, Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures is based off of the cartoon.
It's wild. It's so difficult.
So is Pac-Land.
Pac-Land? Is that also an adventure game?
Looks to be like an adventure game. It's a side-scrolling arcade platform game. Okay.
Okay.
That's
like,
Pac-Land.
How many Pac-Man adventure games could there possibly be?
Remember there was a 3D Pac-Man that they had that was on the N64, right?
Oh, was there really? Let's look it up. Pac-Man.
I have to look this up. This is just the episode where we Google things.
Oh, you're right. It's called. Well, there was a game.
Ms. Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Maze Madness. Yes.
Maze Madness.
Yeah. Well, because remember they made like a 3D Frogger for.
Yeah, I know.
That was the era where they were taking these games and they were like, oh, now they should all be 3D.
Yeah, they should be 3D and ugly.
Yeah.
Make it as ugly as you can.
They should all be as much like Glover as possible.
Fucking Glover. Why does that make me laugh so hard? That game is so difficult. Okay.
So
anyway,
have you played any adventure games in the meantime?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've played a couple, although I do want to start by saying, I just want to put this out there. Yesterday, one of my friends wanted to play a game, and I was hankering for a Mario game.
Oh, okay.
But I just want to ask you this. What do you think of when I say I want to play a Mario game? I'm just curious. What do you think about when I say that?
Fuck. Okay. So if somebody said I want to play a Mario game, I had all games at my disposal.
Yeah.
All the world's games. Mm-hmm. I would probably pull up Super Mario Land for the Super Nintendo.
Okay. Fair. They said Mario Party. That's not where I was
No.
going with that.
Also, I
Okay.
meant to say Super Mario World. Don't email
You did,
me.
yes, you did. Yeah, honestly, that's one of my, and we're going to talk about this in an upcoming episode. But Super Mario World is one of my favorite games of all time. I know it like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but that's what I'm saying though. Is like that's not really what I think about when I say I want to play a Mario game. I don't really, but that's what I ended up doing. So yesterday,
Okay.
but this is like the first time I won at Mario Party.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked, man. We played Mario Party for the Switch.
Mhm.
I think it's called like All Stars or something like that. And at the end, I pulled some bullshit. I had like a custom dice that you can set to go wherever you wanted from 1 to 10. So I robbed the bank. I robbed the Mario bank. I took all the coins. And then I got a King Boo, which is a ghost character, to steal 3 stars from other players, and I won. I'm like, yes. And that was in the final 2 turns.
I kind of have no idea what you're talking about,
you know what?
but
It's
I
okay, other
believe
people will.
that it rolls.
It's all you need to know is that I pulled some bullshit and won. So
That's awesome.
that's something I played just yesterday.
Mhm.
And I have been playing some demos that I think we're going to talk about today.
Oh,
Demos?
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Why don't you save those for our
I don't know. I want to say this though. I don't know if we'll talk about this in the demos, but I have been revisiting the Crimson Diamond because it's gonna be out soon.
It's gonna be out soon. I've also been revisiting the Crimson Diamond, and I am so excited. It's so good.
I am very excited. And I might not, I'm gonna say maybe we won't talk about that too much. We might like mention it in the demos, but I do plan on doing a review on this title.
Yeah.
I really love Deb, Julia. She's great. So yeah.
There's no way we won't talk about it.
Okay, fair.
On the show over the next month, right?
Yeah,
like you guys can definitely expect that. But also, yeah, look forward to a review from Pushing Up Roses on this little website they call the YouTube.
And 12 people will watch it, and those 12 people will be like, do more.
Why don't you do more? Why don't you do more adventure game videos? We don't watch them, but why don't you do them?
Why don't you do them? Well, if you're one of those people, you're in luck. All right, Matt, what have you been playing? That's not I got roped
that
into
we are
Mario
not
Party.
already going to talk about. Yeah.
Like I said, I got roped into Mario Party. I did have a good time. What have you been playing?
Okay. Well, so I'm playing a game that is embarrassingly I have not played before.
Okay.
It's one of those ones that's just like, for whatever reason, has been just floating there. And I should have played it very long ago, and it just sits on my computer unplayed. And I played a little bit of it at the Adventure Game Fanfare in their little museum. We'll talk about it, but and I hung out with the developer a whole lot at the Fanfare, and I was like, you know what? I should finally play this game. It's Lamplight City.
Oh, cool! That's lovely.
That's by Grunislav Games by Francisco, who's been on the show before. It is it's a detective game with some supernatural elements to it that takes place in an alternate steampunk history, and you follow a series of cases that sort of dovetail into a larger case that has been haunting your life for I guess several months at that point. You play a detective called Miles Fordham, and I actually, for as much as people rave about Lamplight City and as much as it's like part of the constant adventure game conversation, there's a part of the basic premise that I didn't know about. I don't know why this isn't talked about, but I'm not going to talk about it here, because if you haven't played Lamplight City, then it might become a surprise to you as well.
I have not played it.
So if anybody who's listening, it is really good. It's as good as people say.
Good.
It's a lot more story focused than puzzle focused. But the interviewing of witnesses and the examining of crime scenes, the unraveling of mysteries is very much very Gabriel Knight inspired.
Yeah, I did clock that. That was definitely
Yeah.
definitely
Yes.
took inspiration from Gabriel Knight.
And yeah, I'm loving it. Again, it's a modern classic
Excellent.
that I am only just now getting around to and am ashamed of because it absolutely rules.
That's great.
It's a modern classic for a reason.
If I may say, I also spied you playing Quest for Glory 5 on an old computer. That's one of my favorite. Like no irony or sarcasm.
Mhm. Yeah.
I love that. I think we both love that game.
We will definitely talk about that. I'll discuss that. I only played it briefly, but I'll discuss that when we talk about the fanfare.
Okay.
Before we do that,
Uh-huh.
before we take our break and then come back and talk about the fanfare,
Mhm.
I need you to go ahead and press theme B, please.
Okay. Guys, I don't know what this is. Matt gave me some music to play, and I guess this is the cue. So here we go. I'm going towards it. I'm about to press theme B. Here we go. Good Lord.
Playdate with Matt.
It's Playdate with Matt! The brand new ongoing segment in the Save Your Game podcast with me, your host, Matt Aucamp, and my tag-along co-host, Pushing Up Roses. Pushing Up Roses, are you ready to have a Playdate with Matt?
What?
So in case you guys don't know, the Playdate is this amazing little it's this amazing little console that is like it is very small. It's about like 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. It's palm sized. It has a 1-bit screen, right? It's just black and white, no backlight. But yeah, a slightly nicer screen than say like a Game Boy.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
would
classic,
agree.
but it puts you in mind of a classic Game Boy.
And it's got a crank, you guys.
Yeah, so it's this little yellow guy,
Not a
and
loose crank.
just like it's a tight crank actually. This
It's a tight crank.
So this like a Game Boy, it's got a 2 face buttons, an A and a B, and a little what do you call it? Up, down, left, right button pad.
A D-pad?
An analog D-pad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, like Rosa said, it's got this little crank on the side. And the crank can be used for all sorts of games. Like, can be used to balance a surfboard that's surfing on a wave, or it can be used to scroll through an inventory, or what else? Open and close the little door on a window, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
The creators of the Playdate clearly did this as like a passion project, and they got all these really cool developers to make games for them.
Nice.
And we talked about this on a Q&A episode a little while back, and I did this ridiculous moonshot where I was like, look guys, I'll talk about the Playdate in an ongoing segment every episode if somebody just buys me a Playdate, because I can't afford one right now. And listener Chris bought me a Playdate.
Oh my
god! Our new best friend.
Yes. Hello, best friend.
Hey, best friend. Thank you so much. This thing absolutely rules. Do you know how you get games on a Playdate, Pushing Up Roses?
Actually, don't. I don't know how you actually get the games. How do you get the? Tell me.
It's super awesome. There's 3 ways. So the thing also has the other things that this thing has. Just I forgot to mention, it does have a one of those. What do you call it when it's inside? It knows when you're tilting it.
Oh, like a gyroscope?
Yeah. It has a gyroscope inside, so that comes into games play, and it has connection to the internet. So that's really cool because you have like global leaderboards on these cute little arcade games.
Yeah.
But one other thing is you have a catalog. You can download stuff straight from this shop, and most of the games are like $1 to $5.
Oh, I
They're
didn't
pretty
know
cheap.
that.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're cool. The other way that you get games is just by owning your Playdate, you get 24 free games. And the way they distribute
Oh,
them to you is in a season. And it's called Season 1, so I don't know if they're going to give more later. But
okay.
every week, for me, it's on Monday, because Monday is when I got it and set it up. Every Monday, I get 2 new games. And for the first 12 weeks of owning this thing, they just drop 2 new games in your library for you to play, and then you get like a week to spend time with them
That's awesome.
before they give you new games, and then you have those games forever. It rules. And on top of that, the last thing you can do is there's incredibly easy little you go into the website, you log into your account, and you register your device, and you can go onto itch.io and download games from there. For a lot of them are name your own price, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it makes it so easy. You just drag the zip files onto the website, and it will sideload them into your device.
That's awesome.
It'll just send them to your device. It's so cool. Clearly these are people that did this out of the love of it, and
Yeah.
they've thought of every little thing. So, Roses,
Yes.
now we have this new segment,
Uh-huh.
Playdate with Matt, and
Okay.
every episode for the foreseeable future, I'm going to quickly talk about 2 Playdate games
Okay.
that I've played recently.
All right. Tell
Sound
me
good to you?
about him. Yeah. Tell
We
me
won't
about
go
it.
through this whole description of what a play date is every time. This will go
Yeah.
quicker.
We
in
just
the
wanted
future.
you to know what it
Mm.
is. In case you're not familiar, you should go check it out.
Exactly. They're really awesome. So I played a bunch of different games, but the two adventure games that I really enjoyed. One came as part of season 1. It was my first game actually that I got, and it is called Casual Birder.
Okay.
It is like it's like a little top-down adventure. You might even call it an RPG,
Mm-hmm.
where you play this little nerd, Stardew Valley-esque, like gave up his life and moved to a brand new town to take up birding.
That's so
And
cute.
each bird is pretty much locked behind some kind of puzzle. So, you might need to you hear the calls of a bird in a specific screen, and you might need to chase that bird out of the grass, or
Yeah.
you might just need to wait with your camera for a certain amount, like track the movement of the bird and wait for a certain amount of time to take its picture, or you might need to go around and talk to people and find inventory items in order to figure out how to get this bird. And there's, I think it's 27 or 28 birds in total that you kind of collect their pictures. So it's like,
Cool.
it's kind of like Pokemon Snap.
I
It's
was just
kind
gonna
of
say
like,
it's like Pokemon.
yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like an adventure game, and it's very funny. It's
Nice.
very, very cute. The birds all have ridiculous, hilarious names. Let's pull up some of the casual birder bird names.
Okay.
There's the hammering bonk-bellied tree tapper.
Ooh.
There
Classic.
is yeah, classic bird. Everyone's favorite bird. The sweet blue Herman, the
Aw.
emerald-throated trash toppler.
Oh, that one's named after me.
It's really cool. It's one of the games you get for free with the Playdate.
Nice.
I don't know that everybody gets the season 1 games in the same order, so you might not get it as your first game like I did, but in that first 12 weeks you will get Casual Birder, and it's
Cool.
awesome. So another game that I will talk about real quick, and then I will save the rest for future segments of Playdate with Matt. I played a game called Resonant Tale, and it is like this cute little Playdate version of like Zelda, of a old top-down Zelda, like Link's Awakening or something.
Okay.
and you're this
I love Link's Awakening.
you're this little elf thing, and you're just wandering around, and collect items that give you abilities to go, like, you got to get the bombs to blow up the rocks, and you got to
Yeah.
get the sword to slash through the bushes, and like the old Zeldas, the combat's shitty, right? Like, you
Yeah.
just have a sword and you walk directly into somebody, and that's how you attack them in this game.
Yeah.
But the combat's not really the point, right? The point is the exploration and finding all the little secrets. You collect treasures as you go around, and those will help you unlock other items and hearts. And you go through a couple little dungeons, and you're trying to find all the like ancient bells to ring them all at once to do something, right? Like, to make the town good again,
to do
or whatever.
something to make the town good.
And there are lots of little like Zelda style puzzles, like you got to step on the switches in the correct order, and you got to go talk to all these random people, and it's very sweet and very cute. It fulfills and has like a kind of a modern sense of humor. Not a lot of out loud laughs, but a lot of like, if you already know Zelda, you're kind of like,
yeah, of course, yeah.
So those are my 2 recommendations.
Nice. Oh, I'm very interested in Casual Birder. Oh, it looks so cute.
It's so good. Casual Birder is great. It was the
thank
first
you
game I picked up, and I played it till it was the first game I completed also.
Aww.
These 2 games are some of the more popular Playdate games, but I swear I will as time goes on, we'll get into some more niche ones, and hopefully we'll have some cool recommendations for you, or talk about some of the games that you recommended. So again, thank you, Chris, and thank you, Pushing Up Roses, for being my co-host on this segment, Playdate with Matt. Play that theme B.
Playdate with Matt.
Why don't I have a segment? I guess this whole podcast is my segment.
You gotta get yourself a segment.
Oh,
I'm gonna whip out another one towards the end of the show today, and
another segment.
Yeah, I got a second segment.
Oh my god!
But I'm saving it.
Okay, thank you. I have no segments. I'm just here.
You gotta go get yourself a segment. Let me tell you, a segment feels real good. You gotta get yourself a segment.
All right, I'll think on it. Can it be like the Murder, She Wrote minute? The Murder, She Wrote minute!
Oh no. What have I done?
We've given her too much power. All right, I say we play a Grimm. We play a Grimm Fandango.
Okay.
And then we'll come back? Question mark?
Who knows? Anything could happen in this crazy world of ours.
It could. I'm the editor. I don't know. I could just cut it after this. Just end it.
And welcome back to Save Your Game. I'm Matt Ockamp. This is Pushing Up Roses.
Hi.
Hi. How was your break?
I mean, you were there. Phil, you were there, as Wayne's World would say. I had a drink of this black cherry sparkling ice, not sponsored, 0 sugar with vitamins and antioxidants.
Wow. That sounds like a drink.
It's really good.
Just trying to keep the energy up. Whoa! Awesome drink.
I was losing energy as I kept reading the description. Like, yeah, vitamins and antioxidants. Don't ever hire me for your sponsors, because I'll just mess them up.
Yeah, if that's how we read ads, and we're like, please advertise on our show.
All right.
Looks like Squarespace is here.
Yeah, let me just read. I can't fucking read this. Whatever.
Website. Forget it.
Make a website.
Just go, whatever, do it.
Just whatever.
It's not hard. Leave us alone.
It's not hard, Gail. Go make your own website, Gail. Anyway, we're back.
We're back.
And what are we discussing today?
So, since I just got back from the Adventure Game Fanfare,
Mhm.
well, I got back a week ago, then I died from COVID and then came back to life, and
I'm glad you're
now
back with us.
thank you. It was the play date that brought me back to life.
Oh, wow.
The doctor just turned the crank for roughly an hour, and then I came back to life.
Wow. Oh my God, we're so lucky.
I know.
Legend. Welcome back, legend.
Since I was at the Adventure Game Fanfare, I thought we'd talk about a little bit what it was like, what happened
Mhm.
there, and more importantly, for kind of our show and what we do here, some of the
Mhm.
demos I played, and that now you have played.
Yes. Let's do that.
Awesome. So, Fanfare was in Tacoma, Washington. It
Which looked
was
beautiful, by the way. It really looked like a gorgeous. I know we were kind of like, why Tacoma in terms
yeah.
of conventions? I would like it to be in Chicago. If anyone's listening to me, hi, would love to have y'all in Chicago. But I saw the pictures of Tacoma, and it is gorgeous.
Yes. The location was actually very, very pretty. I also was like, why am I going all the way out to Tacoma, Washington for
I
this
know
thing?
it's so far for you.
Yeah, I'm a exact opposite end of this country.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful place, right? Like
Good.
it was a nice temperature because it's like this is one of the hottest summers I think of all time in history,
Oh, it's
and
so hot everywhere, just everywhere.
it was just nice and temperate, and
Good.
there's it was. Here's the thing about Tacoma:
Mhm.
no one is there.
Oh, sounds like I'd like it.
You walk down the streets and it is a whole city. Like it is a city. A city should have people in it
Yeah.
and things, right? And there's
Yeah.
things. I don't want to say there's not things. There's plenty of things. There's plenty of buildings. There's plenty of stuff to do. And clearly people live there. But you could not tell that by walking down the street.
Wow.
It's just empty. I don't know why. It's not like it's a low population city either.
Right.
I guess it's a city where people don't like to walk on the street. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's not like a bustling city like Chicago or even like I guess like Philadelphia for you.
Yeah, but it's got 221,000 people.
Where are they?
Yeah. I don't. That was a very strange thing, but it was still very nice. So first day was Friday, and there was I actually didn't get to see a lot of the panels, but a lot of the panels are going up on YouTube, I believe.
Oh, good.
Over the next week or couple of weeks, including on Friday, I hosted a panel along with Anna Vigu.
Of Classic Gamers Guild.
Exactly.
Yes.
I hosted, and you can right now, you can go on the Adventure Game Hotspot channel and watch the live streams. They're all like 8 hours long because it's the entire day.
Yeah.
But if you want to scroll through and find specific panels or whatever, you can do it that way. But yeah, so I hosted a panel on Phantasmagoria 2. It was me and Anna Vigu and Paul Morgan Stetler, who plays Curtis, was our guest, and our other guest was supposed to be Lorelei Shannon. And Roses, she got held up in traffic.
That sucks. No, Lorelei, no.
She just wasn't there. So we had to start this panel, and we started it, I think, like 5 minutes later, whatever, and she just wasn't there. And we had a laptop set up in case she could call in. And she wasn't. And so we just kind of kept looking over the laptop like, uh-oh. But it was a lot of fun, and here's why it ruled. So we started the panel by talking to Curtis, and we were talking to him about all this, like, you know, the impact of the game and what it was like to work on the game and how weird the game was, right?
Yeah.
And then we went out to the audience for questions, And it was about halfway through, and it was like, oh man, are we really going to be taking questions from the audience for a full half hour?
Yeah, that would be rough.
This is gonna be rough. And we got about 4 questions in, and who walks through the fucking door? It's Lorelei Shannon. And the
Oh,
whole
man.
room went nuts, and it just gave this panel a shot in the arm, and it was like exactly when we needed that boost of energy. It just happened right then. It was so serendipitous.
Amazing. Oh my god, that sounds like such fun.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. So that was that, and there were a bunch of there was like a little hallway where there was a couple vendors, and there was the room with the panels in it. And on that first night, there was only one room, like one additional convention room open, and that's where they had all the demos. And we can talk about some of those right now, so it's not just me talking.
Oh, well, I have to work too. Damn.
So there was, there were a lot of people there that showcased, and some games I had already played, like Meredith Gran was there with Station to Station,
who is so cool. I recently attended one of her streams, one of her development streams, and she's so cool.
I had the fortune of discovering that she lives right near me.
That's amazing.
It's very cool. So we're gonna hang out sometime soon, hopefully. Meredith, let's make it happen.
What about me? Oh, poo.
So got to see her and her game, which obviously we've talked about that demos briefly on the show before. It looks great.
It does look really good.
It plays great. Yeah. There's all sorts of new features to it that didn't exist in the previous game. It's gonna fucking rule.
It is. And once again, I feel like this game was made for me. Like, I feel like Meredith really understands the era that she's writing games for. Yeah. So whereas, in the last game, and we did a whole video on Perfect Hides, and that game was very much the AOL era, AOL of instant messengers, who's on your buddy list and stuff like that. And kind of a high school coming of age type thing. And she kind of segues very nicely into this college era now. So, which was 2003, which was also my college era, and probably a little bit of yours. And
I was the right age. I did not go to college, but
okay, fair.
Well, I'm in college now.
I went for like a little while. Mm-hmm. It's a whole thing. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's a whole thing. But yeah, so 2003, which, we were still on the internet. It was less of AOL at that point in time, and more like you're emailing people, you're maybe discovering other, 2003 was a weird time in terms of the internet, because Facebook didn't come until like a little while later, right?
Right.
Okay. So I find that
I think at that time, Facebook came a little bit later, and then remember it was only for
college
people
only.
In college. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And so it was a while before all my friends had Facebooks, and I didn't because I wasn't in college.
Yeah, no, I had at that point in time, I was actually in a community college at that specific point, and it wasn't listed, so I couldn't join the fun. But yeah, that was like you would still have email, you could still hop on the internet, but it was a little bit different. And I think Meredith very smoothly transitions into this new era of Mara's life. And Mara was our last character. She was in high school, and now she is in college. And there's just this air that you get when kind of starting and viewing this game. There's like this like airiness, as opposed to like Perfect Hides, which was kind of heavy right away. It's actually interesting to see Mara set up as like a college student with new friends and new relationships and new things to do. and she appears happy at this point. And I'm not saying like it's gonna stay that way, because I don't think it is. I think it's gonna go somewhere. And I think it's gonna be relationship focused, kind of, but in a different way, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you? Like, I still think it's gonna have a relationship focus.
It does, and I think you're right, and I think it was really interesting talking to Meredith about her writing process, because, she is really serious about when writing these stories to make sure that she is digging something personal out. And she talks a lot about the idea of coming up with a story idea, but not quite having it until she's pulled something up from her life that basically she forgot, or something that something that's meaningful. And it's so clear once you hear that that's her process, it's so clear.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what playing Perfect Tides feels like. I think we can expect more of that in Station to Station.
Yeah. I don't think there was like a lot going on in this demo, but what it did do is put me in this mood, this like perfect, just intrigued mood, because like I said, she's just, Meredith is just so good at making, and I don't want to be like #relatable, but she's actually earnestly good at making relatable content and settings that you absolutely want to explore. They're very dense, they're very dense city-like settings, and I love that. Again, I was getting kind of those Willie Beamish vibes, which I like. Not everyone does. I like it. But yeah, I found every setting in this kind of a little college area, because she's not living in the dorms. I think is it a dorm?
No, I think she's living with friends.
With friends, yeah. But like there are dorms, that you can go visit to see other college mates and whatever. And I just love this little college town that she's created. It's I remember, I wonder if I'll feel this way later, but I remember being very slightly overwhelmed in Perfect Tides with the map, with how it was laid out. I kept misclicking. Right. I think that might be improved. I feel that it's a little bit better this time.
Right. The other thing that Meredith had at the Adventure Game Fanfare that I got my hands on and I'm so excited about, I love so much, is the Perfect Tides comic book.
Oh, cool!
Because Meredith did comics before she did video games, and it's as sweet and cute as everything else that she does.
Oh yeah, her
if you guys don't know her big web comic before Perfect Tides, which is also published I think by Image, is called Octopus Pie. So anyway.
Amazing.
So then Julia Minamata was there with Crimson Diamond, which we've talked about earlier in this episode.
Yes. Which I think I am going to do a review on. I don't want to say too much about it, but I think we can kind of revisit what we have explored, which is that it is this beautiful kind of Dagger of Amon-Ra inspired parser game.
Or Colonel's Bequest inspired more.
What did I say? Did I say Dagger?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Do you want to take it again, or do you want to leave it like that?
No, just leave it.
Okay.
Guys,
I know how important Laura Bow is to you.
I know. Yeah. Everyone knows, so I'm not embarrassed. It's just that I'm always thinking about Dagger of Amon-Ra. But yes, in my brain, I was thinking of the Colonel's Bequest, because
of course you were, yeah.
This is a parser game.
Yes.
Which I think is a risk, but I think it will pay off, because there are not many devs wanting to do that style right now.
I think so too. And she uses the palette of these old games and the resolution of these old games, and she and the music is on a what do you I don't remember,
like ad-lib or MIDI ad-lib.
Yeah. Supposedly whatever that old sound card is, her.
What's the good one? Why Roland
Roland MT something?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Her uh, as she likes to talk about her composer, like went out and bought one
Right.
without without like she didn't ask him to. He just went out and bought one
And those are
so that he could
expensive, you
compose it
guys.
in this. Yeah, so that he could compose it as authentically as possible. And the music is so good. The
Mhm.
music is so good, even beyond the like the music. You guys can't even imagine what you're in for.
Oh, it
And
is so accurate to Colonel's bequest that I think if you were to put screen caps of Crimson Diamond among a Google image search of Colonel's bequest, you would be hard pressed to know what came from what. It is so accurate down to like the font and
right,
and stuff like that. Oh, I'm so excited now. Oh my god,
it's
I'm
gonna be
so
so good.
excited.
So that's Crimson Diamond. Let's see, what do we want to talk about next? What demos that I sent you did you play?
So I played a little bit of maybe I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Is it Hair of the Dog or Heir of the Dog?
Heir of the
It
Dog.
is Heir.
Yeah,
Okay. I,
and
I wasn't sure what they were like. I know what they're going for, but I wanted to like get it right. But
I
yeah,
think that pun is intentional.
yes,
But yeah, I haven't really gleaned what this story is about.
yeah,
Besides the fact that it's clearly like a mad scientist kind of guy,
yeah.
and it's by Tom Harwich, who did Lucy Dreaming, which I know a lot of people really really liked.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like more of like a period piece.
Yeah. It is a
Um,
London, early 1900s
like
London.
right, like a sort of darker Victorian style. It's still that
Yeah.
same highly highly detailed pixel art
Yeah.
as Lucy Dreaming, but I think I'm going to enjoy, and I think there's like a Jekyll and Hyde sort of deal to it. I think I'm going to
Yeah.
enjoy Heir of the Dog a lot more than I enjoyed Lucy Dreaming. Like
Yeah.
I'm really really stoked for Heir of the Dog.
I really enjoyed the demo a lot,
Mhm.
and I think I enjoyed it for a few different reasons. A, I'm a sucker for anything English. I'm a sucker for the accent. I'm a sucker for a timepiece like that, and I like a horror edge. So they tease a little bit of this kind of Jekyll and Hyde situation, right? So
Yeah,
basically, you're a character that decides for whatever reason to drink some of your uncle's like experimentation
yeah,
that's like on a like that's in a beaker, and it's called
right.
like feel good juice. So apparently you just think, oh, this is gonna make me feel. No, it turns you into a Jekyll character, but that's not actually where this game is going.
Oh,
So you are not going to stay this Jekyll character. This is in the demo, so I don't know if this is a major spoiler or not. I don't think it is, because again, we've all played the same amount of game. I recommend going through the demo.
yeah,
But and at the end of that demo, you're trying to like get the antidote so you're not this Jekyll character. You're only Jekyll at night. And so you're trying to get this antidote to fix you.
mhm.
And unfortunately, it doesn't fix you. It turns you into a dog. And you find out that your uncle is also a dog. And now that you're both dogs, you can
Yeah,
speak to each other. And so I think that's the intro, right? So I thought it was going to stay a very Jekyll and Hyde thing, but now we're a dog. And so now I'm kind of wondering, what are we going to do as this dog? Like, what kind of puzzles are we going to do in this London era timepiece?
yeah,
This is the game kind of make references to like this older London stuff. Like, for example, there's like a Sweeney Todd reference
right.
in the town of London. And there's a few other things as well, but I'm wondering what in the world, because they set us up for the Jekyll and Hyde
Yeah.
mechanic, and now I wonder is what's gonna happen next after the demo.
Well, so yeah, I think Tom Harwich clearly enjoys the idea of a game where you switch back and forth between like different modes, right?
Mhm.
Like Lucy Dreaming, you would you could make yourself fall asleep and you could make yourself wake up, and
Right.
some of the puzzles had to do with bouncing back and forth between the two. And I
Right.
think clearly that is what he's setting up for Heir of the Dog, right? Where you are bouncing back and forth between these different states of being, maybe
Yeah.
Jekyll, Hyde, and a dog.
And yeah, that's what is it Jekyll and Hyde and a dog? Or was that really just to
Yeah,
get your attention or to set the tone of what you're dealing with here? I think
right.
it's very clever, you know?
Yeah, and the other thing Tom Harwich likes is a lot of stuff to click on. So
Dude, I was just gonna say that. I
uh,
was just gonna say everything has a description, it's all voiced.
and
Yeah,
honestly, like that was one of the turnoffs of Lucy Dreaming for me. But
sure.
I think, but I play more games than the average person. First of all, because of it's an obsessive hobby, but second of all, because I do this podcast and I do reviews.
Yeah,
So, I need to get through games a little quicker than the average person. So,
yeah,
that's a thing particular to me, is not wanting to spend
yeah,
hours and hours looking at and clicking on every single thing. But
yeah.
again, this game, the aesthetic is really appealing to me, and
Yeah. I think because the dialogue tends to, at least the descriptions tend to be on the terse side.
mhm.
I'm in the same boat, right? I've reviewed games now we talk about them on the podcast, and sometimes I like to get through them a bit quicker than your average
Yeah,
person so I
yeah,
can go to work.
yeah.
But I think because the dialogue again is a little bit more terse, it's very quick-witted too. It kind of the whole thing kind of reminds me of Discworld, but it's not as long-winded as Discworld. That adventure game is long-winded, my friends.
Mhm.
That will make you tired real quick. But
Yeah.
I think at least for the descriptions, they're more one-liners, like oh, she looks weird, stuff like that.
Right.
I'm making stuff up. But yeah, so I didn't mind it as much as other games, I think.
And I will also say Tom is clearly very, very passionate about this stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and he's not going to half-ass anything. He's not going to put something out just to put it out. He is going to put out something that is as high of quality as he can possibly make it. And yeah, I think
Absolutely.
you can guarantee that that'll happen. Tom Harwich, who also Lucy Dreaming won best voice acting at the Adventure Game Awards
Nice.
at the Adventure Game Fanfare.
Mhm.
So I think my favorite demo that I played all weekend was a game called Home: A Story of Light.
Okay, I have not played that one. So this is your chance to sell it to me since it is now your favorite that you had played.
So it's I don't exactly know how to sell it. Besides, it just seems like a very well made adventure game.
Okay.
They are still, I think, looking for funding for the game.
Okay.
So if you see it and you think it looks good, if you think it seems interesting, go support them in any way you can. Join their mailing list, follow them on Instagram, wish list their game on Steam so
Mhm.
that they can sort of secure the funding they're looking for. But it was you play a little boy and a mouse.
Oh, that's
And
cute.
the entirety of this demo is you're trying to get inside a pub to talk to your dad.
Mhm.
And obviously no one wants to let you in because you're a little kid. And like an adventure game protagonist, to get in, you absolutely ruin a man's life. Right?
Well, of
Like
course you do.
exactly, like no one will let you in, so you have to you distract somebody to steal something from them, to use it to light a fire, to get them blamed for the fire, to get them it is, it's one of those sorts of games, and it
Mhm.
has it's very high fidelity cartoon style graphics,
It's very beautiful.
like
Yeah.
like the early Broken Sword
Yes.
games.
I was actually trying to think of a good example,
Mhm.
and I think Broken Sword is pretty comparable.
Everyone also has, this is something that they don't shy away from, people having heavy accents, heavy northern English accents, and I really, really like that.
Nice.
um so yeah, Home a story of light. I think it also has some. It's going to like based only on the logo. I think it's got some steampunk elements to it.
Yeah.
But the demo that I played doesn't really have anything steampunk in it. It's just very, again, sort of Victorian England, and it's very sweet and cozy and comfortable. And
Hmm.
I really am excited to play the rest of the game. I hope it gets made. I hope they
It
get
looks
it finished.
beautiful. It
Mhm.
actually really looks really beautiful. Yeah, there's definitely something cozy about it. I just watched the trailer, and
Mhm.
I'm looking at the screen caps, and yeah, it's that certain kind of adventure game, isn't it? It's one that just makes you feel a certain type of way.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
I think that's really going to be the appeal of it. Is it just,
Hmm.
it's sitting by a warm fire when it's raining outside. It's got that
Yeah.
feel to it.
So I
Um
played one more
okay.
demo,
Yeah, please.
and it's a good friend at the Phantom Fellows. His name is
Mm.
Paul. He is part of the Adventure Game Network. He is a dev. I don't know his last name. I just realized that. Paul, I'm
Um
so sorry if you're listening. I do not know your last name, my friend, but I don't think you know mine either, so we're even. Anyway, Phantom Fellows is something I had been looking forward to even prior to meeting Paul, because it's got this aesthetic of like the dark side detective, and maybe even prior to that, The Last Door, which
mhm.
I think Matt and I had some contentious perspectives on that, because I really liked it, and I think you found it maybe a little too chunky for your. Well, there was a lot of pixel hunting in The Last
I
Door.
liked it. Yeah, it was the pixel hunting I didn't like. I liked it
Yeah.
aesthetically, but yeah, gameplay wise, a lot
Yeah.
of pixel hunting.
Yeah. So this is very much kind of that same aesthetic where,
Mhm.
your characters, you know who they are, but they don't necessarily have facial expressions, or their faces are a little bit more ambiguous. And I love the premise of this game. So the premise is you are essentially a ghost hunter. Because when you were a little boy, when your character was a little boy, a ghost tried to haunt you, and unknowingly, you can communicate with this one ghost, just this one ghost. I don't
Mhm.
think he can talk to other ghosts. I think it is just this one ghost, and so they have made this ghost hunting business together, named the
Yeah.
Phantom Fellows, even though nobody can see your partner. So it's really just the Phantom Fellow, but they call themselves the Phantom Fellows. And it's got that mechanic that sometimes I don't like, which is you can click back and forth between you, Oliver is the character's name, and Engelbert, which is the ghost name.
Right.
Kind of like you could do in Maniac Match, and you can click, to who you want to control. I typically don't like that, but I didn't mind it here. I thought it was more simplified, and I didn't mind it so much. Maybe because Maniac Mansion had those like three characters, and you're always like giving stuff to each other, and I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I really don't like this. This was a little bit better, and it made more sense, I think, in this game. It's not voiced, but it is very, I don't want to say long-winded, but it is very narrative heavy, and it's got that kind of like bantery millennial humor, let's call it. I'm going
Let's
to
call
call
it
it
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he clearly comedy is important to, like that seems to be Paul Corman's.
Sorry, Paul. Oh my god, I knew that even. I even knew that. Oh my god.
That seems to be one of his main focuses, right? Is to make the dialogues very funny, and Paul's comedy is also very um it's long-winded is the wrong word because that has a negative connotation.
Right.
But Paul
It's
will
not
just
long-winded.
Paul will throw words at you until you're laughing. And
Yeah.
that's like and that is a positive characteristic. He is a
Yeah.
very charming dude. Paul actually hosted a panel, one of my favorite panels of the whole weekend, which was on Sunday. It was called the Pixel Panel, and it was with Meredith Grant, Tom
Nice.
Harwich, Julia Minamata, and Paul. And it was all just about like the specifics of pixel art,
That's awesome.
and how they do what they do. the resolutions they work in, the colors, the how much they you know adhere to like the the rules of pixel art, and how much that they feel those rules are made to be broken, right?
Yeah.
That was a really, really cool panel that I really enjoyed.
That's great. Yeah, and I agree. I would almost call the dialogue rapid fire, but it's not difficult to read or anything like that. Like, again, kind of referring back to Discworld, which is very much the same idea, throwing a lot of words at the player.
Mm-hmm.
But man, do they get boring. And
in,
maybe it
in
helps that
Discworld.
Yeah, in Discworld.
Not in
And maybe
yeah.
no, not at all. And I think what helps is Discworld is also fully voiced. Phantom Fellows is not voiced. So you can read it in your own tone, at your own time, and not be restricted by questionable voice actors of the time, because I think Discworld was like 95 or something like that. But I did laugh at the dialogue in Phantom Fellows.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the mechanic of switching back and forth, and I'm pretty excited, honestly, to see where this goes. It's another cozy game, but it's not as cozy as Home: A Story of Light, because Phantom Fellows just it has that humor, it has that banter going for it. So I don't know how cozy I ever really felt, other than I love the art. I actually really love this chunky.
It's chunky pixel art with like a glow underneath it. Like everything's has
glowing.
a lighting effect.
Yeah, everything's glowing. I think it's really beautiful. And then you can kind of use your imagination to determine how you want to talk. Like Oliver or Engelbert. Great names, by the way. Engelbert. I don't know why I like that name, but yeah, I was looking forward to this game before knowing Paul, and now after knowing him and playing the demo, I'm very much looking forward to the rest of it.
Yeah, same. So if that's the last demo you played, I'm just gonna tear through the next couple.
Go right ahead.
So there's War of the Western Deep, which is an anthropomorphic animated game. It's very beautiful animation. There is combat in it, which I didn't love, but leading up to that, there's some like investigative stuff and really interesting sort of character work, and the animation is absolutely gorgeous. So that's by Sungrove Studios, called War of the Western Deep. I played a game called President Rocket.
Rocket?
Yes, it's just clearly Donald Trump. Like, it's clearly a Donald Trump parody, and it's very foul-mouthed, and it's very I don't know what to say. Like, the humor sort of rubbed up against my sensibilities a little bit, right? Like, it's sort of, I found some of the crudeness grating.
Sure.
And the voice acting is somebody doing a Donald Trump accent, so that could be a little grating too, but the puzzles were actually really fun to solve, and the pixel art is pretty good. So President Rocket, I don't know, check it out if you feel like it. And the dev was incredibly cool and incredibly nice, and he seemed really excited about his game.
Aw, that's good.
I really suggest you at least give it a look. I played Fogtown, which is a puppet game.
Okay.
They're making a TV show out of it. Jack Allen from Adventure Game Hotspot is one of the people working on it.
That's cool.
The puppets are really cool. It's like a Sherlock Holmes parody. It's very, very nice looking. The gameplay was sort of just like pick between two options. It was more,
right,
sort of choose your own adventure visual novel-y thing, but the dialogue was really cute and funny, and the puppets are really nice looking. And that was all that really, really stood out to me. There were some other games that are interesting, worth taking a look at. If you go to the fanfare.com, there's a showcase where you can see all the games. So Friday night, there was a talent show. And I got to see Al Lowe play the saxophone. That was pretty cool. He's
actually pretty good. Saxophone's not an easy instrument to just play,
Yeah. Just seeing Al Lowe play the Leisure Suit Larry theme on saxophone was something that I didn't know I had needed in my life, but I was
You need
really
that.
excited to have seen
Sometimes you just really need that.
it. I didn't see the whole talent show. Sorry, I keep calling it a talent show. It was a variety show.
God damn it. I wish it was a talent show. I would sign the fuck up. I don't know what I would do, but I would
maybe
do it.
felt a little like a talent show. But hey, it was, there was a trivia contest in the middle of it. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's what I want to do for the next Adventure Game Con. I want to write a trivia game.
Ooh, you should.
And nobody will know a single answer because that's what happens when you're too close to it.
Yeah, exactly. And then I did a panel that I don't know that I recommend people watch. I mean, if you find me very funny, I'm being very me the whole way through. So, but the other two people on the panel were also very funny. But we did basically like a riff track style panel of the game Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Ugh.
Which, as my partner has put it, maybe should have stayed in the past. Maybe there is too much about it that is disturbing and upsetting and absolutely sexist and racist. That maybe this is one that we don't need to bring up as an ironic example of the past.
But here's what I know about you, Matt, is that and because I do, my whole thing is riffing. That is what I do. I have a riffing show on Murder, She Wrote and other things. And that's the comedy that I write. And I know that there are times when the content I am talking about isn't always great, didn't always age well, or didn't come across well. But I think you and I at least have the sensibility to make that then the riff. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
So if there is something, because it does happen in Murder, She Wrote, it is a show that started in the 80s. They do have some problematic elements. In fact, one of the most requested, this is very much in line with what we're talking about, one of the most requested episodes I get to talk about is called The Indian Giver. And I'm just going to leave it at that. It's very not good.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and this is where maybe you kind of run into trouble with Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, is there's not enough good parts to out-riff or outweigh kind of these disturbing parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was definitely the case. And I think both the audience and the organizers and us in the panel felt, at least towards the middle, like, okay, we're kind of just repeating the same jokes and criticisms in some points because we're just seeing the same stuff over and over again. And that maybe the video of the game could have been 25 minutes rather than 45 minutes.
For sure.
There's just so much in that game that it just repeats the same jokes over and over, and oh boy, yeah. So the reason I don't suggest it is because I don't know. I don't want to make somebody watch Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, and I think there were some audio issues with the live stream. Maybe when they put up the polished video, it'll be a little better. But oh man, there was one point where we were in the middle of the thing, and I was starting to feel okay about my jokes, right? I was like, okay, I'm getting some laughs. I'm starting to feel all right. And then Ken and Roberta Williams walked in and sat down, and I saw them in the audience, and I looked away for maybe 2 minutes. And when I looked back, they had gotten up and left.
Oh, no! No!
Yeah, so that was a real, confidence killer.
I mean, honestly, you needed a woman on that panel. You needed me. You needed a female riffer.
We had 2 men and a non-binary person on the panel. We had no women.
You needed me. I'm telling you.
There were some people from the audience shouting out, and a lot of them were women, which I usually am pretty quick to stamp out people from the audience yelling out at a comedy show.
Yeah, but for sure.
This that in this instance it was needed. So I didn't really see. So then, Saturday and I'm going to move a little quicker because this is a podcast about games, not about events. But Saturday, I didn't really see many of the panels. And I'll just talk about one more panel.
Yeah, go for it.
Today there was the Pixel panel, but then my other favorite panel of the whole weekend was the YouTuber and Adventure Game Hotspot network member One Short Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Did a live speed run of King's Quest VI.
Amazing. Honestly, wish I would watch that. I would go watch that. I love that.
It was incredible. He also did a live speed run of, give me a second. It's not, I'm not remembering it off the top of my head.
Give me a hint.
It's Sierra.
Great.
It's crazy that I forgot this. It was a live speed run of Dagger of Amon-Ra.
Oh my god, amazing.
And it was so good and so funny. The way that people have found to break those games is just absolutely hilarious. And
yeah,
Julia Minamata helped moderate this panel. Because, while One Short Eye was doing certain, thing while he had to focus, or while he was just clicking through some boring sections, Julia would sort of explain to the audience what was going on.
Yeah.
And they were just so funny and so good. Once these panels are up, if you only watch one panel, don't make it either of mine. Don't make it just go watch this live speed run. Like if you only watch one of these panels, watch the live speed run. It was incredible.
That's great. I love adventure game speedruns because you think that they're not going to be exciting, but they are, because how do you even do it? Yeah, they're ridiculous.
It's the stupidest thing in the world.
It's amazing.
It's so good. So the other thing that I want to talk about, the last thing I'll talk about the Adventure Game Fanfare, is they had a museum.
Nice.
They had a bunch of old computers set up and running, and this is, like you said, this is where I played Quest for Glory 5. The way I originally played it as a kid, which is on some like shitty old Windows 98 computer.
You know it. It was broken then and it's broken now.
They had like Colossal Cave on some. I don't know. I'm not good at hardware, so you guys are gonna have to fill in the blanks here, listeners, or maybe you could, Roses, if you know some of this stuff. But they had Colossal Cave running on some old ass computer. They had Space Quest and Leisure Suit Larry and the early King's Quest games running on. And my partner played like the first 20 minutes of Leisure Suit Larry and loved it.
Okay, that's weird. I'm gonna have a talk with her.
I don't
know. Not good.
I don't know how that captured her the way it did, but it did.
There's a charm about it. Those older games, they grip you, man. Do you want to hear my hear my Lobos impression from Quest for Glory 5?
Yes, please.
Prince of Shapir, you will now enter the rites of rulership. I love that stupid character that I don't know what his job is.
Staccato like, with no inflection.
Prince of Shapir.
Prince of Shapir. You have been summoned to the rites of rulership. The voices in that game are so bad, but
They're
game
so
rules.
bad. They're so bad.
I also played both me and my partner next to each other sat and played Freddy Farkas.
Why?
Neither of us have ever played it before, and we weren't so enraptured. But this museum was really cool. Like there was Myst on an original computer. There were just all sorts of old amazing games on classic hardware, and it ruled.
That's great. That's super cool. Oh, I would love to play. I'm big on emulation. I'm big on accessibility and emulating old games, but I would love to play Quest for Glory 5 on a shitty gateway. Like, come on, let's go.
Yeah. The thing is, I was too familiar with Quest for Glory 5 to enjoy it as much as I thought I would, because I was like, well, okay, I can't just start in the middle. Like, I've got to start from the beginning, and
Yeah.
I've got to set up my right build, and I've got, like,
boy.
right? So it's like, I couldn't just sit down and play it for 20 minutes in a random spot, because I know it too well, and I love it too much. And so I was like, okay, I got to figure out exactly where we are, and I got to figure out, okay, what are my inventory items? What has the player done thus far, and what have they not done? And it's like, okay, either I need to sit here for 5 hours, or I need to not really play this very much.
No, I get it. I play, dude, when I have a Quest for Glory 5 run, when I decide it's time to play that game again, I start as a thief. I love being a thief, even though in 5 it's really pointless. But I will literally, I love this game so much that I will literally sit down and play every class to completion and not sleep. I'll just do it. I'll like I will get into it. I really like that game, you guys.
So supposedly the next adventure game fanfare, it is happening, and it's going to be in 2026. And I have heard it is going to be much more like center of the country.
Oh, good.
Not supposedly. This part's a rumor. That part is all confirmed. Okay. What is a rumor is that it is not going to be in a big city. It is going to be in a slightly smaller city, just like Tacoma.
Okay.
But
more central.
More central, yes.
And I will probably be at that one. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. Matt and I can have our own panel. It's just us pitching our new game based on our buddy cop show called Aw Man.
Yeah.
At that point, Aw Man will become an adventure game.
And we'll get all these classic adventure game voices to come up and read our script for Aw Man.
Aw Man.
Oh man. Wow, we didn't solve this one either, huh?
We didn't get this one.
All right. Well,
oh man.
See you tomorrow. Oh man.
Just you guys wait, there's gonna be like installment after installment of like, oh man.
All right, Roses.
Yes.
I have another segment, but before we do that, let's Maximino.
Okay.
And then we'll come back, and this is a quick segment, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay, I'm gonna max it up.
Hell yeah! Roses.
Hi.
I've got a new segment for us.
All right. Theme B? Theme B?
No, there's no theme for this one. Maybe maybe a listener can make one if they like. I think okay. I think we should ask our listeners if they like this segment. And they this is one where they get to veto it. Okay. or tell us that we can never stop doing it. Because I stole this segment 100% from another podcast. I didn't even change it. I'm just like, oh, that is a funny idea. We're gonna do that now.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Okay. It's a podcast about cereal by one of the McElroy brothers. It's just
okay. I like cereal.
So you guys, just so everybody knows, so that I'm not, I'm plagiarizing, but I'm not doing it absolutely without shame. Okay. So what we are going to do, I have here.
Oh boy. Oh god.
I've called it a little bit, so it's a little smaller than it could be, but I have a list of every adventure game that's ever been released. Like I said, I culled it a little bit.
Okay.
I cut out a lot of the text adventures. I cut out remakes, things that were in multiple chapters.
Okay.
Or acts. I combined into like a single game, but
Uh-huh.
it's still 3,286 games.
Ugh.
Uh,
Sorry, I don't know why I had that
So-
reaction.
It is an incomplete list and it is a cult list. But what we are going to do over time, this is not going to be completed in a day, Roses.
Okay.
Over time, we are going to rank all 3,000 games.
What?
And we're just going to quickly. And the thing is, we haven't. Here's the thing. Most of these games we haven't played. Most of these games, most of the world hasn't played.
No, of course not.
Oh, I also cut out all the freeware games. So, like, this
Okay.
list was like 6,000
Oh
before.
my god.
Yeah, but now I cut it down to 30, like whatever I said, 3286, I think.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do,
Oh my
I've got them all
God.
numbered here. So I am going to pull up a random number generator, and minimum is 1, maximum is 3,286,
Uh-huh.
and we're just gonna generate like a couple numbers in a row.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna, and whatever game comes up, whether we've played it or not, is gonna go on a list. And so, like, at some point, we're gonna be deciding which is better, Yoko Redux or Lenny Loose Jocks in Space.
Oh, good lord.
But
Okay.
for now, hopefully we'll get a couple that we know. All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, first one. 1,946. That is The Fan by Ezhaac Studio.
The fan?
EZHAAC Studio. So there's this segment's going to involve a lot of Googling.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh my god. What is this?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh no. Oh my god. I don't think I want to play this.
I'll tell you. So, okay. I think we can very easily say that this is both the best and the worst adventure game of all time.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Because
One
we
of the
have
screens is
Yeah.
just a bunch of torture devices, like
Yeah.
saws and like I don't.
and there's like a
also-
woman like tied up, but then like and the next screen is like you're looking in the mirror and you're the guy doing the torturing.
Also the reviews are mixed, which is
Mhm.
also, I don't know.
Extremely short and disturbing. Here's one review. Bad. Cannot
Bad.
recommend.
Oh no! Oh god! Oh man! I'm gonna learn
so the
so much.
fan. So right now, The Fan is our only adventure game on the list. So that is the best and worst adventure game of all time. All right, next number, 2,800.
Oh, that's a good number.
Please give us one that we like know. It would be so nice. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Amos Green's Final Repose. It is a Carol Reed game. It's a Carol Reed game. There's a series of like there's a series of games called the Carol Reed Adventures. I've never played one,
Yeah.
but they are mystery games and they're first person and they are also FMV.
Yeah, that's interesting. We got another live acted FMV game.
It kind of looks good.
Actually, yeah, I see that Adventure Gamers actually covered it, the Final Repose.
And gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, and there's a thread here on Reddit that comes up that just says, "I've fallen completely in love with the Carol Reed game." So maybe,
Wow.
this
Maybe
is
we should
something
play
we
the
should-
Carol Reed games. Yeah.
maybe so. I like that. Oh, I
All
like
right.
that.
So right now, I think I can make this decision for you because I think I know how you're going to vote. Right now, the best adventure game of all time is Amos Green's Final Repose,
Yep.
and the worst adventure game of all time is The
It's
Fan.
the fan. Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right, let's do another one.
Okay.
We got 1531.
Okay. It's a good number. I like
Yeah,
it.
not bad. That's not bad. Right in the middle, so that should be like what around the 2010s.
Mm.
All right, we have Fran Bow.
Oh, Fran Bow. Okay.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
have played Fran Bow.
Yeah, it was my game of the year when it came out.
Holy shit. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
it's like a very disturbing and violent horror game where when you take your medicine, you enter into like a horrifying
Yeah. You
demon
see
version
things
of the world you're in.
Yeah, you see things differently. It's one of
Yeah.
those things we were talking about earlier with Tom Hardridge where he likes states of being,
Yeah.
and I think Frambo is a good example of that. And yeah, you play a little girl. It's a really good game. It's very atmospheric. I would put it in the horror genre,
Yeah.
and I would put that game above both of these games.
Me too. Absolutely, because we've actually
Yeah.
played it, and actually it is good. It is actually
It's very
good.
good.
So we're not even like we don't even have to bullshit here. So
No.
Frambo is the best adventure game of all time. While The Fan is the worst and Amos Green is like the median adventure game. If you want the standard adventure game, you play Carol Reed. Amos, what the hell, whatever the hell. Okay. All right.
I when those words, Amos Green's final propose, came out of your mouth, I'm like, what?
Okay, all right.
What is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is going to be real good. All right, next one is number 473. So an
Okay.
early game.
Early one, yeah.
1996. It is called Weird. Truth is Stranger Than Fiction.
That's the
Mhm.
the name of it?
The name is Weird. The name is Weird. Truth
Truth.
is Stranger Than Fiction.
Okay. It comes up, and I don't know why it comes up.
It is it's a 1996 PC game. It looks like
Oh no. No.
it looks like a Myst clone, but
It
like
is, yeah.
but like a yucky Myst clone.
Oh, this is all the way at the bottom for me, and you know it.
Yeah, this has like that really bad 3D of that era
Yeah.
where this one's bad. This is, you know what? This is worse than the game where you torture a lady.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Okay, all right.
This?
Let's do a couple more.
Okay.
Let's try to at least get 5 on the board before we
Yeah,
go.
let's put 5 on the board.
Okay. All right. We're at 2262. So, 2262. All right. We're getting a lot of high numbered ones here.
Yeah, I noticed that.
A lot of recent boys. All right. Oh, it's your favorite game. Say it with me. Your favorite game.
Grim.
Krabat and the Secret of the Sorbian King. Your favorite game. Krabat and the Secret of the Sorbian King.
What are these names?
The 2019 adventure game from Rapaki Studios.
Okay.
Okay,
How do you spell Krabat? Please tell me.
The standard English way. Okay, it's Krabat.
Okay, so Krabat and I see that there's a few of these Krabat games.
Oh my god, there's a bunch of Krabat games?
There's a couple of them that came up. Okay, so this it's got very cartoony style.
Yeah, and it looks like it
Okay.
takes place in sort of like the like colonial US.
Yes, that is what it looks like. And there are I just want to say I'm very impressed that the games that we're pulling, they do have reviews on prominent sites. Like the last game we talked about, the weird one, that Kotaku had a review on that. I'm like, oh, okay, so people do know about that. There's a Reddit thread on adventure games that's just called "Some Love for Krabat and the Secret of the Sorbian King."
Yeah, it has
it's well liked.
It has a 3.5 on Adventure Gamers.
Okay.
And it's free in the Microsoft Store, App Store, and Play Store.
Well, there you go.
Okay, maybe we should play Krabat,
I
the Secret of the Sorbian King. All right, where does Krabat and the Secret of the Sorbian King go for you? I think obviously, here's what I'm looking at. Obviously, it goes below Franbo.
It does go below Franbo. It
I
definitely
am.
goes above the fan.
It goes above the fan, and that's exactly what I'm thinking. I can't tell if this one should go above or below Amos Green's Final Repose. It might have helped if we'd played it, but I can't tell if it goes above or below Amos Green's Final Repose.
I think based on just looking, I would
Yeah.
put it above in my, but that I'm only
Yeah.
going by looks alone. I'm thinking of like if I was on Home of the Underdogs when I was young, what
Yeah.
game would I choose to spend my time on and download, because it took time to download games, and I would probably choose Krabat.
That's such a good point. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
looking at Krabat and thinking like, oh, maybe I'll see if this is on Play Store still, and like I can get
Right.
like I this one is actually appealing to me. It
Agreed.
looks like
Yep.
it'll be a little sloppy, but it
Yeah.
looks like it could be kind of fun.
I
All right,
agree.
here's our last one for this round of us ranking every adventure game that's ever
Uh-huh.
been made. Okay. 612.
Okay.
We've got, and I got to delete these as I go so that we
Yeah, don't forget.
repeat them.
Oh no. Starts
Okay.
laughing.
It's called Wild Wild West: The Steel Assassin.
What is this?
Okay,
What
at first I was thinking it gives me like Dust, the Tale of the Wild West sort of vibes.
Yeah.
But now I'm looking at it and you're like, there's a scene where, okay, I'm looking at a screenshot where you have at least 4 guns.
Oh, there's more than 4 guns on my screenshot.
And
There's
you're like
10.
zap, and one of them's like you're zapping. Are we sure this is an adventure game?
We're not sure, guys. Like, I'm gonna just say this. I don't know if this is an
Yeah.
adventure game. It looks very weird.
Oh my god, it's a licensed title?
What?
Yeah, it's a licensed game. It's based off the 1999 film of the same name, and which is based off the 1960s TV series, The Wild Wild West.
Which it looks like it's, yeah. Oh my
It's like a
gosh.
science fiction western.
You know what? Put it at the bottom.
No, wait, no, hold on. I think this goes above weird. Truth is stranger than fiction.
Okay, fine. I will agree with you there. It can go above
I
weird.
would rather try this game.
You're right.
Than weird.
Yeah.
Truth is
you're
stranger.
right.
Oh, I said we were going to put 5 on the board. We've done 6. We were having so much fun.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm like, yeah, let Matt do his thing.
We've done.
That's so funny.
Okay.
My throat hurts from thinking about Krabat and and Amos Green. What? Who? What?
Krabat and the
Sorbian King.
Sorbian King.
Amos Green's Final Repose. Why does it make me laugh? It's just words.
Yeah.
It's just normal words, and they're just making me laugh.
All right, so we've got the 6 best adventure games of all time as we see them now. If you guys need a really quick repeat them. We've got Franbo, Krabat and the Secret of the Sorbian King, Amos Green's Final Repose, The Fan, Wild Wild West, The Steel Assassin, and the worst adventure game of all time, Weird, Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. All right,
How
guys.
funny would it be if if Weird stayed at the bottom by the time we're done? How amazing would that be?
If you made any of these games and we dunked on it, we haven't played them, so they might be very good. They're just
exactly.
It's just the funniness of how many adventure games there are in this.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening to the show. Sorry about our 2 weeks off, and sorry that this is what you came back to.
I'm having a great time. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm having my throat is raw from laughter.
This is they've gotten enough publicity, but check out the Adventure Game Hotspot Network.
Yes, please do check that out. You can email us about the quality of our podcast.
Yeah,
mattandroses@gmail.com.
Oh my god, yeah. Tell us if you like this segment or not, because I now love it, and I want to keep doing this segment. But if the audience hates it, I have to just be like, yeah, all right.
Honestly, though, it's good enough just for you to say a title and just me burst out laughing hysterically.
There's so many more. There's 3,000 more.
Oh my god, this podcast is gonna go forever.
Yeah. 6 seasons in a movie. And our seasons are 100 episodes long.
Yeah, they're really long seasons.
All right,
Oh
Roses,
man, that was
do you have
fun.
anything you want to let people know before we go?
No.
Yeah.
I really thought about it. I really did. I only have really one thing that's ever going on in my brain, like all the time, but it's only one thing.
Ooh, what's that?
Yeah, it's that, podcast is art.
That's so weird, because I had a dream that art was suffer. All right.